Hello everyone, myself Michael Ravina, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The subject is CS 3492 Database Management System and the unit is Database Design. The topic is Functional Dependencies. The functional dependency is a relationship that exists between two attributes. It typically exists between the primary key and non-key attribute within a table. That is, it can be represented by using x tends to y. That means x depends on y value depends on the x. That is, the left side of the functional dependency is known as determinant and the right side of the production is known as dependent. That means y dependent on the particular x. For example, assume we have an employee table with attribute employee ID, employee name and employee addresses. Here employee ID is an attribute that can uniquely identify the particular employee name attribute of employee table, because we know the employee ID is employee ID. That means we can tell that the employee ID name is associated with the particular name. That is, the functional dependency can be written as employee ID tends to employee name. We can say employee name is functionally dependent on employee ID. That means we have to determine the particular employee name by using the employee ID. Next, the types of functional dependency. The functional dependency, there are two types of functional dependency. First one is the trivial functional dependency, then second one is a non-trivial functional dependency. The trivial functional dependency means A tends to B. That has a trivial functional dependency means if B is a subset of A. That means the following dependencies are the trivial, like A tends to A, B tends to B. That means, for example, consider table with two columns that are employee ID and employee name. The employee name tends to employee ID. This is a trivial functional dependency, as employee ID is a subset of employee ID comma employee name. Also, employee ID tends to employee ID and employee name tends to employee name or trivial dependencies too. These are known as trivial functional dependency. Then next one is a non-trivial. Non-trivial means A tends to B. That has a non-trivial functional dependency if B is not a subset of A. When A intersection B is null, then A tends to B is called complete non-trivial. That means ID. The particular ID tends to name and name tends to date of birth. That means name depends on ID and the date of birth depends on the name. This is the non-trivial dependencies. Next one is the relational decomposition. When a relation in the relational model is not in the appropriate normal form, then the decomposition of a relation is required. In a database, it breaks the table into multiple tables. If the relation has no proper decomposition, then it may lead to problems like loss of information. This decomposition is mainly used to eliminate the sum of the problems of bad design like anomalies, inconsistencies and redundancy. Types of decomposition. The decomposition contains two types. First one is lossless decomposition, then second one is a dependency preserving. Lossless decomposition, that means non-loss decomposition. If the information is not lost from the relation, that is decomposed, then the decomposition will be lossless. The lossless decomposition guarantees that the join of a relation will result in the same relation as it was decomposed. The relation is said to be lossless decomposition if natural joins of the decomposition give the original selection.